The September 20th questioning of Attorney General Merrick Garland before the QAnon-controlled House Judiciary Committee were really quite significant. Among other things, they provide a preview of what next year's election campaign will look like. Also, those hearings were intended as a distraction of the plans of the QAnon Republicans to shut down the federal government next month. Almost in anticipation of what these hearings were going to be like, on the very same day, the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal ran this editorial, in which they wrote, quote, "Too many Republicans apparently come to Washington these days mainly to blow things up and count their TikTok followers. Some backbenchers point the finger at Mr. McCarthy and this or that promise he supposedly made to become Speaker. But who's their alternative? Matt Gaetz?" End quote. Then, in order to prove the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal right, on that same day, the House Judiciary Committee held hearings in which they quizzed Attorney General Merrick Garland. They wanted to focus on the role of Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Of course, when it comes to Donald Trump and, for instance, his son-in-law Jared Kushner and his role with the Saudi royalty, that really took the cake. But they want us to forget all about that. Here the Republicans are, the QAnon Republicans, talking about Hunter Biden.
Hunter Biden was put on the board of Burisma, made a lot of money, got paid a lot of money over those years, a couple $1 million.
Another one of these QAnonists went on to talk about Ray Epps. This is reference to January 6th, and this January 6th agitator, Ray Epps, who supposedly was a deep state or FBI agent, a conspiracy theory that has been decisively disproven. And the whole theory behind that is an attempt to prove that January 6th was a false flag operation.
Find out. And today, by the way, that was in reference to Ray Epps, and yesterday you indicted him. Isn't that a wonderful coincidence? On a misdemeanor. Meanwhile, you're sending grandmas to prison. You're putting people away for 20 years for merely filming. Some people weren't even there yet. You've got the guy on video who's saying go into the Capitol. He's directing people to the Capitol before the speech ends. He's at the site of the first breach. You've got all the goods on him, 10 videos, and it's an indictment for a misdemeanor? The American public isn't buying it.
This is a video being shown by California Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu.
1349 hours declaring it a riot.
Attorney General Garland, the Department of Justice charged over 1,100 defendants in connection with the attack on our Capitol, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to state two facts. The people who showed up on January 6th to attack the nation's Capitol were supporters of Donald Trump. They attacked the Capitol to stop Congress from certifying the fact that Donald Trump lost the election. Those two facts were so horrible that some in the right-wing media and some Republican members of Congress could not handle that, so they made up conspiracy theories. In fact, Donald Trump called January 6th a beautiful day. He said the people who showed up had love in their hearts. Republican member of Congress said January 6th was like a normal tourist visit, and some Republicans have said there were no weapons used on January 6th.
Democrat Hank Johnson throws back the matter of corruption into the Republicans' laps when he makes a reference to the corruption of extreme reactionary Supreme Court injustice Clarence Thomas and his links with the equally reactionary billionaire Harlan Crow.
And as a judge, you never had the occasion to receive a private jet travel to an exotic location by a corporate billionaire, did you?
No.
You never received an offer to get a ride on a private jet?
No.
Did you take any vacations at exclusive resorts paid for by a billionaire?
Pussycat that he is, Merrick Garland does his best to avoid even the appearance of criticizing corrupt Judge Clarence Thomas.
I know these are not hypothetical questions, and I think this is really
yes
not
no.
within my realm, of course.
Democrat Adam Schiff explains the real purpose of these hearings.
Because it is the one essential ingredient in all democracies. We have all professed our belief in this principle, but it has never been truly tested, not like it is today. In this committee, we are engaged in a portion of that trial. The chairman would abuse the power of this committee by trying to interfere in the prosecutions of Donald Trump, by trying to use the committee's power of subpoena to compel criminal discovery, in effect, making the committee a kind of criminal defense firm for the former president. In doing so, the chairman of this committee would establish a very different proposition. Through Mr. Jordan's actions, he would establish the principle that the rule of law should apply to almost everyone, just not the leader of his party. According to this alternate proposition, if you are the president of the United States and you lose your re-election, you can violate the law and constitution to try to stay in power. And if you are successful, well, then maybe you get to be president for life. And if you fail, there is no repercussion. This proposition is also well known to the world, and it is called dictatorship. Mr. Jordan hopes to camouflage his assault on the rule of law by falsely claiming that Donald Trump is the victim of unequal justice and Hunter Biden its beneficiary. It is a claim as transparently political as it is devoid of any factual basis. And it is cynical, based on the belief that the American people cannot discern fact from fiction.
Of course, the Democrats will not stop the QAnon Republicans. For that, a mass movement of the working class is needed. That would include a rank-and-file rebellion against the union bureaucracy, such as these John Deere strikers in 2021, who several times rejected inadequate contract proposals from their own leadership. But anybody who thinks that there's no real difference between the Republicans and the Democrats nowadays really is not paying attention. For more in-depth analysis, check out oakslandsocialist.com.